Senator Paul's filibuster was old school, the kind of performance people imagine when they hear the word filibuster and think of Jimmy Stewart. And, of course, Mr. Smith goes to Washington. But there was another filibuster that occurred yesterday as well in a very different way. Without having to utter so much as a peep, Senate Republicans were able to block President Obama's nominee to the U.S. Court of Appeals, Caitlin Halligan, from receiving a vote, even. This silent filibuster is the flip side of Rand Paul's talking filibuster, and the practice has been vilified by both Democrats and Republicans. No one likes it, apparently, but when you're in a majority or a minority action, it's a potent tool. Senator Tom Udall pushed to end the silent filibuster at the end of this Congress and is committed to filibuster reform. And Michael Steele, of course, is always for reform. He's the former chair of the Republican National Committee and MSNBC contributor. Senator Udall, I applaud completely what you've tried to do. Explain, if you can, why any decent person, including a progressive senator, would support this stupid thing where any senator in the world can simply say, tell the majority leader, I think I'm going to filibuster, and there is effectively a killing off of the legislation.
Chris, nobody should be able to support that. That's the basic idea, one senator holding up the whole show. And I don't think that's what the American people want, and I don't think it's what most senators want. I think what they want to see is if you have an objection, you have a statement, you have something to put out there for the American people, you go down to the floor and do it rather than secretly block things and hold things up. And that's why we should have done a talking filibuster.
Okay, you're in Harry Reid's office right now. Imagine you're sitting with Harry Reid, the old pro. He speaks softly, but he's got a big stick. He's the boss. What does he say when you get in there as the new kid on the block and say this?
Well, when we urged him to do this and he was for this and we were moving down the road, he did the vote count and he didn't think we were quite there. He didn't think we had enough votes.
Did you have his vote?
It was his conclusion. He wanted to do this. He wanted to do this. He said he wanted to do this, and he said he didn't have enough votes, and that's where we were. But the idea is still a very good one, and it was proven out in the two situations you just talked about. Halligan, secret exception, behind the scenes. People don't realize that court needs 4 justices, and she was very well qualified, and she was deep sixth. On the other hand, Rand Paul stepped up to the plate, made his point, got some answers, and we got the Brennan nomination done.
Okay, let me talk about Michael Steele while you're on, Senator. It seems to me that we have a very good system of checks and balances. To get something passed, you have to get it through the House and get it through the Senate, and you got the president to sign it. That's enough. Yep. But adding to that now is you have to have 60 votes in the Senate, which means with neither party ever getting 60 votes, it makes another hurdle, and it makes government so much less efficient. And the public is demanding action. They're not demanding stopping things.
Right. No, I agree with you. And I applaud the senator for his efforts to try to open up the process to allow more of what Rand Paul did if a senator really feels that strongly about a nomination or a particular issue. When it comes to...
Well, we've just reached the physical limits.
No, he had 13 hours. He held... Actually, I have to admit, it was pretty good political television to watch and to hear these individuals get up and speak, from Durbin to Rand to Cruz. So that process, I think, exposed the side of the political expression that a lot of Americans appreciate and quite frankly miss from the Jimmy Stewart days.
Yeah, let me go back to the Senator. Mr. Udall, can you get this done? Are we going to get to the point where you have to have a real filibuster? You can't have any filibuster unless it's real. And how's that going to happen?
I think we're going to get there, and the reason I say that, you should see the new members, the new senators who have just come in. They are so frustrated with what's happening now. They're talking, many of them, and some of the more senior senators are saying that, this is a bad situation. We've got some real anger because the place isn't working, and I would hate to see a rule change in midstream, but we could see one with this kind of reneging on deals that we thought had been made.
Yeah, under the Budget Act, you get like one time a year when you're guaranteed a vote on reconciliation, right? Otherwise, you're never guaranteed a vote on anything, right, Senator?
Oh no, you can get a lot of votes in the Senate, and it's done usually through agreements and through a negotiation
Unanimous
process.
Consent.
A unanimous consent, and you can object.
Well, you just made your point. I mean, you get a vote if all 100 senators say you can have a vote, and otherwise you don't get it. Michael on this. Michael, what kind of a way to run a country is that?
And it's not a good way to run the country. And I think that you talked about the silent filibuster. There's a lot of concern, as the senator noted, that a lot of the freshman senators are frustrated by the process. But here's the reality. It's great to push back against the system and want to reform it when you are in the majority. Okay, but as Harry Reid noted, we could be in the minority in 2 years, and this is a tool, a powerful tool that we would like to have as we saw them use when they were in the minority.
Yeah, but this guy, Senator Udall, if you noticed, is in the majority, and he's working. He's saying trying to reduce the ultimate power.
He's trying to reduce the ultimate power, but Harry Reid won't let it happen. And at the end of the day, you can bring these reforms to the table. You ask the right question: where's Harry Reid on this? And the majority leadership is like, we could be. They're always looking down.
You know what? I'd like to see a vote on this, Senator. I think a vote would be very healthy. Mr. Reid, the majority leader, an admirable man in many ways, should have a vote. That's how you decide whether you're up or down on this. Thank you so much. You're a real reformer. Tom Udall, thanks for joining us.